gentlemen.
Gentlemen, welcome to the second week of PGA's preview from your boys here at FSI. I am joined with big winner of last week, John. John, congratulations on your win. Tell us how excited you are to be a couple $1,000s richer.
Thanks. I'm pumped. It was awesome. Played just a single bullet in Drive the Green $5 entry. Got third place for $5,000. So that's, I think, 1,000% ROI, if I'm not mistaken. 10,000 ROI. I'll take it no matter what it is. That's a sweet little payday, especially on a single bullet in 150 max entry. I basically broke even on cash, broke even on Yahoo, broke even on, actually doubled up over on FanDuel because of those snake draft entries. I'm excited when that's coming to Draftkings. So, but yeah, we'll just keep hammering away on Draftkings as well, and super excited to just kind of jump back in it and keep it rolling here, kind of on a heater.
You got to ride it. He's drinking his Hawaiian beer. He's feeling the he's feeling the Hawaiian mountain flow. I gotta love it for you. Big win for John, biggest in his career. So we're gonna bring you some more quick picks this week for the Sony Open. It is in Hawaii again. Just wanted to give a quick shout out to the Fantasy National Golf Club. All stats and models talked about in this little preview is powered by their statistical models and engines. Big thanks to them for all that they do. If you don't have anything up for Fantasy National, please give them a look on their website at www.fantasynational.com. Let's just jump right into some picks. Let's get going on our Hawaii swing. We have some favorites up on the board here. John, go ahead and explain why you like your guys this week.
Sure. So my two favorites here this week, Harris English and Daniel Berger. Harris English here, obviously coming off the win in Tournament of Champions. He helped earn me that big payday there. I had both him and Neiman, as well as three others in the top five. So Harris was a big part of that. He was a little lower owned than some of those others. So that was good. Harris English, 2021, that was his first win in many years. So really, really excited for him. But really the course history here, it fits him well, just as much as the last course did over in Maui. He's made 7 out of 8 cuts at this event with 3 top 10s. Looking at his stats too, last 50 rounds, he's number 1 birdie or better, number 1 on DK points, and 7th tee to green, 15th greens in regulation. So really a lot of the major categories I'm looking at, Harris is up top. The form is fantastic right now, so I'm going to hammer quite a bit of him. I like the price too, under 11K. Saves you a little bit off of maybe like Webb Simpson. Other guy I love here, Daniel Berger. He might be a front runner here for my one and done pick. I really like him this week, 10K flat. Looking at 15-1 on the odds, I kind of like that too in the betting market. The form is really good for Berger. He has 10 straight cuts made. He was 10th last week at the Tournament of Champions. Looking at his Sony history, he's made 5 cuts in 5 tries, so I like that as well. And then on the stats, his last 50 rounds, 3rd in ball striking, 5th on approach. He is 2nd birdie or better, and then 8th putting, which kind of surprised me here with Berger, but we talked about it before the video. We kind of looking at putting heavier this week than we do on a lot of other weeks. So I'm going to lean on Daniel Berger quite a bit and save a few $100 off of the very top guys this week in the field. What about you? Who are your favorites you're targeting?
Well, it is no secret that Webb Simpson is the clear betting favorite at plus 1,100. He's got the good course history with back-to-back top 5s, and he is excellent tee to green. He's coming in 6th in the last 50 rounds in the Fantasy National model that I created this week. He is 4th in par 4s, 15th on the approach, and Webb Simpson is a notorious Bermuda greens putter. He loves these coastal courses with the Bermuda greens. Wyndham and RBC Heritage are 2 correlation courses that I like to use, and he is good at both of those. So definitely going to be in on Webb Simpson. I also like Russell Henley. Russell Henley is another Bermuda specialist as far as putting goes. He is 2nd in my statistical model this week. He comes in 1st in approach, 1st in tee to green, 1st in ball striking, 2nd greens and greens gained, and second in par fours. Not many people have been striking the ball as good as Russell Henley in the past couple of weeks. He's been, really, really teeing off on these events, these short courses, these par 70s. He's directly related to most of the success Webb Simpson has to the Wyndham Championship and the RBC Heritage. Is a guy that he does well in those events as well. He did miss the cut at the Mayakoba. That is the course that I'm looking to for some correlation as well. These guys haven't golfed. Some of these guys haven't golfed in a while. The narrative that the guys that golfed last week at the TOC are also going to be playing in this event are typically guys that people roster, are typically guys that people bet. Henley is not one of those guys, so I'm hoping at 8,700 he could come in with a little bit of lower ownership. And I like that 35-1 number as well. He did win this event in 2013. So yeah, I mean, there's that narrative. What do you think on that narrative as we roll into value plays?
Yeah, I mean, I'll play quite a bit of the guys who are at Tournament of Champions, but especially in some large field tournaments, pivot off that a little bit. There's a handful of guys that I do like that didn't play last week, so we'll kind of get into a few more of those, but I think it's something to look at quite a bit if you're making a choice 50-50 on two guys. One played last week, one didn't. Probably going to lean on the guy who played last week and go from there. Yeah.
So as we go into values, I like two guys here in this 7K range. Keegan Bradley coming in at 7,600 with an 80-1 price tag. Keegan is a really good ball striker, terrible putter. This is his worst putting surface, but his worst putting surface is every surface. So I'm never really targeting Keegan Bradley as a guy that's going to win me a tournament or put me into the top 5 in a GBP because of his putting. His elite ball striking is second to none in the field, with third on the approach, 7th tee to green, and 4th ball striking. And he also has 16th on greens gained. So he's really getting on the green. He's making a lot of birdies. He did finish 32nd at the Mayakoba, so he's got some good history coming in, and he was 12th in 2020, and he's got a couple other top 30s in the past five events at this course. Munoz is definitely my favorite value play on the board at 7,800. I think a lot of guys are going to like him. He opened at 65-1. He's getting bet down to 55-1. He's got really good form. He played really well last week. He shot like a 74 or something silly like that to open up the round, to open up the TOC. But from there on out, he went 18 under in his next 54 holes. He really stormed the field after that opening round, bad opening round, and he finished 19th in the Masters. So he's pretty capable of doing well in big and good fields. I kind of like him as a bet this week. As you can see, for only like 200 more in DFS for DraftKings, his price tag, his betting tag is already getting bet down. I think that's like one of those things you look to as like the reasons why you play the guys that you're playing. And I think Munoz is going to be a big play this week for DraftKings and on the betting cards.
Yeah, I think Munoz will be really popular, and for good reason.
You're right. So who do you got for your value plays this week? Who's going to connect everyone?
Yeah, a couple values I really like. Emiliano Grillo. We play him quite a bit, actually, usually in fields where he's more one of the favorites. But this week he is not. But I'll certainly take him. 66-1 odds, just under 8K on DraftKings. I do like the course history here for Grillo over the last 4 attempts here. Really, he's only played it 4 times. 21st, 22nd, 47th, 33rd. So for the price tag, I certainly would be okay with that in my lineup. He's made 10 of his last 11 cuts, so I do really like the form coming in to end 2020. And then just looking at his last 50 rounds, 9th in ball striking, 7th greens in regulation. He's 8th on approach in this field and 16th tee to green. So I'm really liking how he rounds out in the stat model. I'll be playing quite a bit of Grillo this week. He's part of Team Can't Putt. I'm okay with that. Just because he is a lead in those other categories. If you get somebody who's average there and also can't putt, it's a bad combination on this course, but I think he's going to fare pretty well. And really, I think upside top 10, but I think he's a pretty solid bet to make the cut this week and help your lineups under 8K. The other guy here, Charles Howell III, this is the course horse if there is one here. 8,000 on DraftKings, 66-1 odds. I don't know that I'd be betting him to win. He's never won this event before, but he's played here 18 times and never missed the cut once. That's insane. Most guys can't even make it 18 on random courses. Same course over and over. He shows. Of those 18 times, he's placed top 10 9 times, and 6 of those were top 5s. He has a couple runner-up finishes also. So the course history is just fantastic. It just really is a course that fits him well. Also, to end 2020, he made his last 4 cuts. He's a good Bermuda putter. He is good in the wind. So a couple other things I do like about him, but mainly it's that course history. It's really tough to ignore. I think you're going to see him very highly owned in cash. I might be on that train as well. We'll see. But the price is really nice for him at an even 8K. Any other value guys? I think that came to mind was Johnson. He kind of popped for me a little bit too. I'll be playing a little bit of him, but these are probably my 2 favorites.
Yeah, I think the Charles Howell being the Georgia boy, he plays really well at the RSM, and he loves opening up the year really well. And, it kind of tapers off towards the end of the year. So I do love playing Howell early on, from, Hawaii into the California swing. Those are typically like the Charles Howell events. So definitely going to be in on your boy Howell. And I think he's a really good DraftKings play. I don't think I would bet him, but yeah, DraftKings wise, Charles Howell makes a ton of sense.
If you're betting him, bet a top 10. That's where the money
is. Put the each way down on the 66.
Yeah, exactly. I think for a top 10 with he finishes top 10 here half the times he's played of those 18 years. So that's a pretty solid bet in my opinion, but probably not to win.
Right. Okay. Let's drop into some sleepers. Let's hit the snooze button and let's see who we got in our long shot approach for maybe some rounding out some DraftKings lineups and maybe rounding out a card. I'm going to go first with Brendan Grace. Guy I've kind of watched through the European circuit towards the end of the year. Typically in the Euro golf, they open up in South Africa. This year, last year, because of COVID, they ended the year in South Africa. And Brendan Grace, being the South African golfer that he is, he finished the last couple events on that tour, as well as playing in the RSM and the Mayakoba. He finished 30th at the RSM, 40th at the Mayakoba, and he finished 8th at the World Tour Dubai with a really good field on the European Tour. I think he's going to bring some of that good form into this week. He does have a 13th place finish in 2017, and he's 27th in the field in the last 50 rounds in approach and 26th in tee to green. So I really like those ball striking numbers compared with some of the recent form in the recent weeks he's played, along with, the one time he's played this course, it seemed to fit him pretty well. So I really like Brendan Grace. Who do we got here? We got one of your staples on tour for your sleeper pick.
I play almost every time he's in the field. You'll find me playing Matthew Naismith. I absolutely love playing this guy. This week, 7,400, 100-1 on the odds. I don't think that's a terrible bet. Maybe more like a top 5 or something on him. But yeah, the stat model just absolutely loves him. He's 7th ball striking, 8th greens in regulation, and over his last 50 rounds in this field, he is 2nd on approach. So I absolutely love that. I think approach is the one stat that we probably target more than anything else week to week. Number 2 in this field there. So I'm super excited to play him. He's a really good Bermuda putter and also good in the wind. And he was 32nd at this course last year. He's definitely playing better golf to end 2020 than he was to start last year. So I'm going to get behind some Matthew Naismith, especially that price tag there. I think he fits really well in a bunch of lineups. Maybe it's the last guy in or next to last guy in. So Naismith's my sleeper this week. Anybody else you want to add there?
No, I think that should pretty much do us for the sleepers. I like what we've got going on so far with our picks this week. This will pretty much wrap things up for us. We got one last slide for you. We're going to be doing this one and done tournament from Fantasy National Golf Club. It is the Fantasy Golf Championships, powered by the Fantasy National Golf Club members. Like I said earlier in the show, shout out to them for putting on these kind of events. for putting up one of the best stat models for, fantasy golf in the industry. So big thanks to them. Each week we're going to be tallying up our season standings. We're going to be playing along, John versus me, winner gets rights to the cover photo is kind of like been our thing. So this week, John, you're going to go with?
I'll take Daniel Berger. Everything I said about him earlier kind of rings true. I don't know that I really want to play him very many other events this year, maybe St. Jude, but I think this is a good spot for him. And yeah, you mentioned that we'll be going head to head, but really across the industry, this is kind of the new form of fantasy golf, and most other sites and things are participating as well. So we can kind of weigh ourselves with them as well. So really excited to be doing that this year.
Agreed. Yeah, can't wait to see where we stack up. I'm going to go with Webb Simpson. I probably going to, pray that I don't burn Webb and he flops, but I'm also taking the betting favorite. Like I said earlier, the back-to-back top fives. I'm really confident in Webb with the 6 strokes he gained on the approach last week. I'm hoping that all rolls into one big victory for Webb Simpson this week.
Sure.
So that'll do it for our video this week. Big shout out to you guys for listening. As always, please like and subscribe our videos. You can find us in the Discord channel at fsidfs.com. You can find links to our Discord. You can get our cores on Wednesdays. We break down wave stacks, weathers, showdown slates, weekend slates. You name it. We're going to provide a core and give you the best details we can give you for our content week in and week out. John, anything else to add?
That's it. Just excited to keep it rolling this week.
I need you to keep it going, man. You got the hot hand. You got the big money coming in. So let's get another big screen from you, and hopefully one from me this week, and hopefully one from all of you. So thank you for listening, and have a good day.
All right. Peace.